Have you ever made a wish that you were just too afraid to say out loud? Picture this, 8 years old, superhero birthday cake, blue icing, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman. And given the fact that my mama 6 months ago had baked a birthday cake for Jesus, I knew I was going to have to tread lightly. Everyone I knew and loved was there. Mama, pops, brother, grandparents, cousins, enough 8-year-olds with water pistols to start a small militia. And my mom lit those 8 candles. The singing started, and I shut my eyes, and I wished harder than I had ever wished for anything in my entire life. Please, let me wake up tomorrow a boy. Well, that was so I could kiss Connie and nobody would care. Well, maybe Connie. I mean, I just knew I could not say that wish out loud and risk everyone that I knew and loved at that party maybe not loving me the same. And even at 8 years of age, I understood that. Now, I was like this tiny southern closeted trans Pinocchio. Make me a real boy! Make me a real boy! When what I wished for was to just be seen without fear, without shame. Visibility isn't vanity. It's vengeance against erasure. And those odds must be defied. Breaking the script that society was trying to write for me has been a long and stubborn act of resistance. And that process has just built resilience. I'm a queer theater educator, a cult escapee, a non-binary, female-presenting, lesbian, disabled, stand-up storyteller. Hold the applause. I do not live in the safety of the norm. And that has built a tenacious sense of self. Queer people are often accused of having an agenda when we simply demand to exist. When we refuse to accept a version of history that would erase us. When marginalized people do not see themselves in stories, they are denied legitimacy. Right now, challenging dominant narratives is riskier than ever. But it is also the pathway to liberation. Visibility isn't just hope. It is the spark of agency. And I cannot promise you, I'm going to tell you a story that is going to change your perspective. But if we only hear stories from a dominant culture, then that can demand so little from us. It locks us into that single story. And that is how your agency is taken from you without you even noticing. I'm not going to tell you that my story or any marginalized story is better. But I do think when those stories are included, they can make the world better. You hold the power to listen or not. And the stories that society would erase, they hold a superpower. They can crack open dominant worldviews, challenge biases, and give you a chance to see another person's humanity. I mean, that is agency. That is power, and that is the beginning of liberation. Now, my 8th birthday wish was actually for a penis. Oh, I had no idea the doors of power of opportunity that thing could open. I mean, I was not smashing glass ceilings. I was 8. I knew 2 things. 1, I like girls. And 2, if I was a boy, none of that would matter. I could kiss Connie at lunch and marry her by recess. I could also join the most exclusive club that I knew at that time, the church. See, I was raised Southern Baptist, and everything was heaven or hell. I'd accidentally burned my hand on the stove, and my mama's screaming out, "Well, I hope you know that's what hell's going to feel like." Therapy. Mama also gave me this critical life advice. She said, "Sherri D. Sutton, no matter what you do in your life, don't make fun of Jesus." So naturally, by age 20, I had joined a cult. I joined a cult. Yeah, that sentence never just rolls off the tongue. It's like saying you accidentally joined CrossFit, but with less demons. No. People always say, "How did you end up in a cult?" I just shared my 8th birthday wish. How could I not end up in a cult? I mean, some people, they like extreme sports. Apparently, I liked extreme religion. I guess I like my Jesus just a little dangerous. I just wanted to be accepted. And at first, it was all this love bombing out there. I mean, the pastor and his wife, Mama and Papa, they made me feel special. We lived on a 400-acre farm, Clydesdales, designer apartments, and 5 a.m. prayer. It was like 90210 for 20-something Jesus freaks. I mean, we were hot, hip, and horny, and nobody was allowed to have sex, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that followed that rule. I was devoted. And here's the thing about a cult. Here's the formula. 1, they love you. 2, you trust them to be the authority in your life. And 3, they will find your fear and exploit it. Now, after this 6-month love fest, Mama and Papa took me aside to have the talk. And it took me over 6 hours to utter one word out loud in a whisper: gay. I was so homophobic, I couldn't even attach myself to that sentence. I was so deep in that closet, I was having tea and Turkish delight with a lion and a witch. Good, some of you read. And once Papa knew my clandestine fear, that's it. He had me. And so the next Sunday, he decides he's going to pray for the demon of homosexuality to be cast off of me forever. Because you see, you can love the sinner, amen, but you hate the sin, no. And so he asked all of these Abercrombie church lady girls to do this thing called the laying on of hands. And I began to think, this is not helping matters, but I was delivered. Not from being gay, thank God. No, from the secret. See, oddly, in that moment, I finally felt seen. And there was this weird joy that washed over me. And Papa mistook the smile on my face as having a demon of pride. Because you feel special because you got delivered last night. And now you're trying to steal the victory unto yourself because you don't love God. And now you are trying to seduce me. Sir, I am literally trying to survive prayer breakfast. I don't know if it was the cult or if it was me that needed to prove that I was cured. But I got married to a man out there. His name is Paul. And I needed that marriage to fix me. See, I understand homophobia. Nobody hated me being gay more than me. The marriage didn't fix me, but it saved me. See, Paul and I were a union, and we had figured it out. We are in a cult. And that is tough to do, because when you're in one, you have no idea that you're in one. I mean, that's sort of the thing about a cult. There is no marketing department. Okay? And on September 20th, 1992, we escaped. And then I escaped my marriage. And fast forward to now, and I've reconciled my faith and sexuality and in the process with my gender identity, but I still have to justify it to certain family and to churches and society that just want to cling to that single story that would rather have me remain invisible. And in 2009, I married a Canadian woman. And my family didn't yell. They didn't call me names. They just quietly didn't show up. They believe gay marriage is wrong. They also don't have passports. And after a couple of years, that marriage ended, and I thought, oh, I have failed again. But I don't see it that way now. No, I had the courage to love, to marry, to insist that I belong, even when the law of the land at that time and the church and my own blood didn't. That is defying odds. That is resilience. And Mama said, don't make fun of Jesus. And I haven't. I mean, I came out of the closet. I went back in. I got married. I got divorced. I came out again. I got gay married, and I got gay divorced. I married a man. Turns out he was gay. And I married a woman. Turns out she wasn't. So, I kind of think Jesus is making fun of me. When we erase stories, we erase people. Right now, we are living in a time when hate rises quickly. And the pendulum of history is swinging like a wrecking ball. Rights gained can be rights lost. And you and I are going to have to find the courage to hold on to freedom with both hands. Visibility isn't just survival, it is defiance. We need single stories from individuals within a marginalized group so that we don't risk the danger of developing a single story about that marginalized group. And boy, did I think I was just woke when I figured that out. The problem with being woke is that you fall back to sleep and you forget, I certainly did, that liberation is a cycle. Well, there's a saying in show business. You haven't paid your dues unless you have directed 37 adults with developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, in musicals. I have paid those dues. Oh, the group is called Habima, Fullscale Productions. It's run out of the Atlanta Jewish Community Center. And I had this awakening thinking, oh, I'm given this opportunity now. So I am going to showcase everyone how these people can defy the odds because I'm going to make them look professional. And that's just a really nice way of saying I thought I was their theater savior. The thing is, I burdened them with this word special. And they are, but I expected them to somehow be extra nice, extra kind, extra forgiving. And they weren't always. They could be jealous and petty and gossipy and defiant and outrageous and hilarious and right. They were human. They are human, period. And it is now the night before Annie Get Your Gun. And Rose, she knows every lyric to all the songs, but she does not know one single spoken line. She's Annie. And my friend Michelle, she gets this brilliant idea. Let's put a wire to Rose's ear, and I'll stay on book, and I will feed her lines. And I'm like, problem. It is now 15 minutes opening night, and we just got all that equipment in. So I'm taping this wire to Rose like I'm prepping her for an FBI sting. And I'm explaining, Rose, it's like being on the phone. You will hear Michelle, and you will say what Michelle says, loudly, easy, right? Rose gets it. I am on the phone with Michelle. She tells me what to say, and I say what Michelle says. Places. Spotlight on Rose. She freezes. Her head slightly cocks. Hello? This is Rose. Who is? Oh, hey, Michelle. Hey, what? Shh, what? Shh, what? She was having a phone conversation. And as if it just couldn't get better, it is now time for the showstopper. There's no business like show business. The music swells. Rose belts it out like Ethel Merman reincarnated when her dress falls off. She's standing there, granny panties blowing in the breeze, and ooh, there's the wire I taped up to her. She looked like she had gone undercover to bust up the autistic drug cartel. And the audience, they loved her because Rose was fearless and messy and human. And that audience were clapping, and those 37 adults took their bow. And they were crying because they had been seen. You see, I thought I gave them the stage. They gave it to me. They defied the odds I had put on them. And they shattered the single story that I just thought I was too progressive to have. Now, at the end of one production last night of Fiddler on the Roof, we all raised our glasses. This cast of misfits, you know, queers and Jews and people with intellectual disabilities and allies. We raised our glasses to l'chaim, to life, because we were survivors. And then I realized, had history gone slightly differently, no one in that production would be alive to tell it. That's why stories matter. That is why visibility matters. I am still that 8-year-old, only I'm about to turn 60, and I'm lighting candles, and I'm still making wishes, only this time they are out loud. And I wish for more voices, for more stories, because when we multiply the various stories that we get to hear, we multiply the humanity that we see. Visibility isn't charity, it's resistance, it's hope. And I cannot make you change, but I can light a candle and invite you to make a wish. Thank you.